Well, I got to tell you, New York State Stock Car Hall of Fame has got a great class ready to go in 2023. Five of the biggest names you can think about in racing. And I've got one of those five on the phone with me right now. From the announcing side, like me, Joe Morata and Jack Burgess are going in. So's Joe Plozek, so's Dale Plank. And this guy that I got on the phone with, Mike Ralph from North Norwich, I haven't talked to him in years. I just happened to call him out of the blue to see what he's doing. Mitch Gibbs is actually going into the Hall of Fame. It will be on May 5th out at Fonda Speedway. Let's head on down to North Norwich. Mitch is hoping nobody walks in and interrupts our conversation, but he is down there right now. Mitch, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, back is good. You feeling okay these days?
Okay, yep. I just got to be careful what I do, and so far I'm doing good.
All right, family's good. I saw Brett and your daughter's, your grandson there a little while ago, so things are good there too, right?
Yeah, everybody's fine. Everybody's healthy, and thank God.
Talk about five big names to go in at the same time. You've got to be honored, I would think, to be in this situation.
Yes, I really am. Dale Plank and I have a lot of history in the past, running the NASCAR, Fulton Utica Rome NASCAR, and Joe Plazak, I've raced against him for years in the Big Block Series at Canandaigua, Weed Sport, and Rolling Wheels, and always looked up to him, very professional. And the announcers, those two announcers are two of the best.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to hear? I never got to hear Jack Burgess, and I've heard people. He used to do radio commercials in Central New York, but that voice that he had, it really was unique, wasn't it?
Yes, it was special. There's no question about it, and he was definitely, I think, one of the best, if not the best.
And, of course, Joe Morata, I know you didn't meet him much because he didn't do a lot of the victory lanes, but when you thought about Rolling Wheels in Syracuse, Joe Morata, that tricky turn 3, that was what you thought of, right?
Yep, he was the guy.
Yep. The Raffadilli's off of turn number 3. Joe Plozek's one that I sit there, and I didn't necessarily think you guys ran against each other much outside of Syracuse, but you told me, yeah, you did.
Yeah, because early on in my racing career, that's what I did, run the big block modifieds, and we went to Weed Sport and Canandaigua and Rolling Wheels and those kind of races, and he always was there, running the 200s and series races and weekly too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, raced against him probably more than I did Dale Plank.
Really? I guess I thought of you two because of Fulton and everything. I guess I thought you two ran a little bit more, but you didn't really know Joe that well, you told me, though.
No, I never did. Never really got to know him. Well, he's always very professional and raced good, but never really got to know him.
Who got the better of each other at Canandaigua, do you think, in the long run?
Oh, he was definitely on his game, and definitely better than I was. I was kind of starting out and learning and, that kind of thing, jumping around different chassis and between Troyer and Byrosh and Olson he was pretty consistent, so he definitely got the better.
So this would have been like late 80s, maybe early 90s, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, late 80s, 90s, yeah. I can't really remember years when I went away from dirt and went to the outlaw.
Well, how old are you now?
60.
60. That's right. You're 2 years younger than me. So were you first getting established then in that time at Canandaigua in the late 80s, early 90s, or were you winning races?
No, I was pretty much getting established. I started out racing, Fonda, and in that 320 series, and we won quite a few races there, but it wasn't real competitive. The class wasn't back then. And then I moved up to the big blocks, and that's when I started racing Weed Sport, Canandaigua, and Rolling Wheels, and it was tough. There was a lot of really good drivers. I mean, when you go to a special show, there was track champions from all over.
Yeah.
Barefoot Bob, Merv Trichler, the Johnsons, all the good guys, Steve Payne, all those really good guys, and it was tough. But I learned a lot racing against them. I really learned a lot. When they would pass me, I'd follow them for 2 laps, and taught me quite a bit.
Okay. Picture you're looking at, by the way, I don't know what I said to get Mitch laughing in this one, but it was at Syracuse back in 2008. And, of course, that was that a lot of history there with Joe? Because he was always kind of an up-front runner, but you had your years where you were up towards the front most of the time, too, weren't you?
Not really.
No?
It was kind of hit and miss with Syracuse. We'd go, and we never really, I guess, had it all together when we went there. You know, our stuff was pretty beat up. You know, a lot of guys would have a special car for the end of the year there, and you know, we didn't all the time. It was always running our Saturday night car, and so I think one year I was running fifth with a number of laps to go in the 200, and then, you know, truck parts car, and we ran out of fuel. And yeah, but that was the best finish I would ever had.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what happened in 2008, or did they all just kind of blend? Because I got a picture of you on the front stretch. I don't know if that was before the race or not. Oh yeah, because that was, I think, right before the race. Was it a good year? Or did they all just kind of fade together to some degree?
Yeah, they do. That may have been the year that I was running fifth and ran out of fuel. I think because I had the New York truck parts car there, so I believe that might have been the year.
Okay, all right, so that was it right there.
Yeah, 2008.
Dale Plank, when I think of the mid-'90s, is that when you guys pretty much ran together? Although I think you told me, what is it, Afton, I think you ran together for a while, too?
Yeah, one season I think he raced Afton, and because I know that was NASCAR one season, too. When Roger Aru had it, it was NASCAR, and I think we raced against each other over there for one season. You know, in some specials and stuff, but mainly Fulton and Utica Rome was where we pretty much had our battles.
Yeah, because when I think of the late 90s, I think of you two guys pretty much up front battling it out week after week. Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah, and then the 2000s, too. You know, in 2000s, we won quite a bit at those two tracks.
And you were more, I would probably use the word rivals, because, I mean, if you're going against each other every week, can you be buddies, or are you, I mean, you have to respect each other, obviously, but is it more rivals, probably the better word to describe it?
Yeah, it was definitely rivals. We respected each other, too. You have to on the racetrack so you can get through a race without getting tore up, you know what I mean? And, yeah, it was definitely, it was tough. It was good for the fans. They loved it. You see a lot of husband and wives, one rooted for me, and the other one rooted for Dale.
And the fans, too.
You saw that a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, yeah, there was some good racing back then. That was, you know, and him and I won quite a few of them.
What would it be like, do you think, as you're standing there, the five of you guys? Because, I mean, when you think of the history and the thousands and thousands of races you all did from different perspectives, Joe and obviously Jack from the tower and you three from down on the racetrack, I mean, all the wins, all the laps, man, it's amazing that we've gotten to this point, isn't it?
It is. You know, I talk about this all the time. You know, there for quite a few years, we raced between 100 and 120 events a year. You know, and I raced 40 years, and I think about that now, and I don't know how I did it. And there's guys out there racing more than I do, and longer.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Pat Ward down to the auction the other day, the car auction, because he goes with Roger Phelps, the car auction. And, you know, where'd the time go? We kept saying that over and over, you know. He's told me he's 67 years old, and he's still racing competitively.
Yeah, doing well, too.
And that's something.
Yeah.
You know, these cars nowadays are quite a handful. They don't ride the smoothest, you know, with the coilovers, and yeah, that's what kind of forced me out of it. My back couldn't take that, but yeah, it was good to see him, have a talk with him down there, you know.
A little over a minute to go at this point, so I guess I know we talked about this when I saw you the last time when I came down and actually saw, but I'm surprised all you guys don't have bad backs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I asked him if he did, and he said no, he doesn't. He plays, you know, pickleball or something, and keeps in pretty good shape and stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised more of them don't, you know.
Well, I'll have to come down and see you, and I'll try to make it. Again, this is a Sunday, May 5th, the New York State Stock Car Association Hall of Fame for 2023. What a class it is going to be. I just called Mitch out of the blue, and he made time for me. So thank you so much, Mitch. I really do appreciate that. I hadn't talked to you. I got to make sure that I do this more often, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, sounds good.
Again, guys, hit the subscribe, turn on the likes. I'm going to ask Mitch something off the mic when I get this done, but this just happened out of the blue. I guess I got to do this stuff more often. So thanks again, Mitch, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay, man, thanks.